Shit. Forgot to bring up Restream. Oh, no, I don't have to because I fucking went and got it set up and connected to the fucking system.
There you go.
As a browser thing, so I don't have to have Restream open. But if I want to actually see what people are writing, well, shit, then I gotta load it up.
That's why I have mine in the middle of the screen.
There we go. Well, shit on a biscuit and toss in the blender. It's another wizard of a show. Yes, indeed it is, Alan Powell.
That was a statement and a half.
It's not every day you take a shit the size of a...
Really? Really? Don't be reading that out loud.
It's so small that I can't actually see what I'm reading, so I'm reading word for word.
Okay, but you can...
I'm giving it the old Ron Burgundy.
Okay, well, you don't do that. Ron Burgundy is the one who screwed himself over by telling San Diego to go fuck themselves.
Don't you fucking know I would never fucking say fuck? What the fuck? That scene where she whipped him with a fucking antenna.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna throw on my my intro music.
Let me flip over.
There she goes.
You sure you don't want that
Indeed it is. The celebration of not our monarch.
Even though it was quite the royal weekend.
Yeah, I heard some royal turds were dropped in a royal bowl. Done with a royal
so bitter about it.
visual.
Can't you just like accept the majestic and the charade and even just the presentation of the monarchy and their presence in Canada?
That is exactly what Dina said to me. She said, "I'm not watching the wedding because I really care about the monarchy. I'm watching the wedding because it's a royal fucking wedding. And how often am I going to see a royal wedding?"
Exactly.
To which I replied, "There are fucking hundreds of goddamn royal weddings going on all the fucking time, but you don't care about those ones, do you?"
Hello, Menard. Here's the thing though, is and this is factual, but how often do you get to see a royal wedding of people generally of a proper age, or at least a modern proper age, and also the fact that this is an established monarchy that does have a presence in our country?
An unwanted presence.
It is. What was it I said earlier? It is. It's not a charade. It's a novelty. It really is a novelty. I mean, they can call, they can make some calls here in Canada, but like really, that's what we have our government for. And as much as people
We got
may
a
hate
government.
yes, as much as people may hate it, especially the amount of people that I follow on Facebook, Justin Trudeau does have a lot of power. And if the Queen wanted to come in and said, like, no, we're making Canada a penal colony, that doesn't happen, right? Like, shit doesn't fly that way anymore.
No. If they were to try and just say, like, hey, guess what? You know, you're part of Canada. We're going to enact some like random clause that was put into the thing, you know, hundreds of years ago. That was just like,
in the fine print.
if in the eventuality of such and such and such on such and such a day, delicious.
Your royal accent sounds a lot more evil than it should be.
You're kidding? It's perfect for the monarchy.
Menard says, I just watched bits of it because it's all the crap going on right now. With all the crap going on right now, it's nice to see two people in love. This is true.
Yeah, that's
Markle. What's the? She's now the Duchess of Sussex now. Interesting story where she divorced and was at one point, like, I think she was like homeless. Her father isn't exactly a celebrated welcome part of the community, and like all this bad backstory, whatever, blah 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 blah. And quite frankly, Prince Harry is second in line, right? Because it was Prince William is the older son, and so if there's any sort of shift in power, then Prince William would go to the top of the monarchy as opposed to Prince Harry. So Prince Harry essentially has a free pass, but is pursuing this incredible relationship with this woman who has a very storied past of her own. So it is legitimately a fairy tale princess story. I heard that.
You heard that?
I heard that.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm the crypt keeper.
Anyway, it was the royal wedding. It was very pretty, and you had the big flowing gown and blah, blah, blah. It goes to William, then his kids, then it's William something. Anyway.
And somewhere eventually down the line, if enough people die, I will become king. Doesn't that terrify you?
Yeah, and then it will go to Harry. But the thing is that the whole thing is just it is legitimately a fairy tale princess story.
Yeah, I'll give it to you because like you said, kind of came from a hard place, Cinderella kind of thing.
Yep. And the only other thing that really was worth noting, other than the incredible guest list, was the empty seat beside Prince William and Prince Charles, which a lot of people were like, why is that empty seat there? And the Queen was actually even seated behind that empty seat. And that seat was left there in honor of Princess Diana. Which I thought was actually very, very classy.
Interesting.
So, anyway, I have a broken hand.
Oh, you segue just like people ride. Segue.
Yeah, speaking of segues, did you see my broken hand?
I'm kind of curious about this. I mean, I have heard this story, but I'm curious to get like kind of the whole story of how this came about.
Okay, so I was sitting on my couch, minding my own business, just watching porn and eating cheesies. And that's why it turns yellow. Anyway, no, I was playing a video game, and I was becoming very, very frustrated. And so I did something rather silly that I've done before, and I took my frustrations on my coffee table. I don't do this very often because I'm generally not a violent person. I am non-confrontational. And, out of all the fights I've ever been in, I've never once thrown a punch. It's never been fist to face. So The conversation you and I were having off screen was, I wish I knew how to throw a punch. So anyway, I was taking out my frustration because we were playing this video game. It was online. I was playing co-op with a couple of friends, and this person that we were up against was very clearly cheating. Like the amount of things and the hassle that this person was causing all of us was beyond anything reasonable within this game. And it didn't help that someone who I was playing with was shouting a lot, and it kind of has the mentality of, if I shout louder, things will get done faster. Kind of reminded me of a drill sergeant, which, I mean, we'll get into this in a minute. So I took out my frustrations on my coffee table, and I went straight down into a punch, and for the first time ever, I broke bones in my hand. And yeah, it hurts.
You fucked it up real good.
I did. Now, I've done this before. Like, I've punched a coffee table before, but I was like thinking back, like I've punched it like straight down, so it's right here.
Oh, you gave it the knife edge.
Yeah, so like that didn't bother me as much. Like, I got a sore wrist if it was really, really bad, but like I've never done any damage like this. But then also I was thinking to myself, like, within the past 9 months, I actually reinforced that coffee table. And also, I've been hitting the gym a shit ton more. So, perfect storm. And, yeah, I got to wear this for about 4 weeks. You know what? Okay, how many jobs do I have? Three, yeah. Three. Menard says, like I said on Twitter, coffee table for the win. That is correct. I have 3 jobs, and this bum hand actually prevents me from only doing one job. So I can still drive, and I can still broadcast just fine. So, like, lesson learned, it's best to just walk away from a silly situation, you know, a little bit humbled and definitely a little bit embarrassed, but, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Actually,
It usually does not work out well for you.
No, clearly it doesn't. The coffee table will win.
Side note, and just because I find this really odd situation. Okay, 2 quick stories.
Yes.
One, I was working at Canadian Tire, so I'm in the back room, whole bunch of walls of cardboard holding a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Talking with a fellow coworker, and just kind of sitting there and just kind of like just leaning up against it and whatnot. And at the time, I was really trying to figure out like Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch and how to like just throw it perfectly.
Yeah.
And while I was standing there, I was just like, and I swear, I shit you not, a perfect circle popped out of that cardboard. I took it out and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at my buddy. I'm like, you see this, right? Like, what? Okay, all right, that was pretty cool.
I'm not hallucinating.
We're just gonna put that back and pretend that never happened, so no one asks about anything that just happened.
Yeah.
And anyways, so story number 2. A couple of years later, I'm having one of the worst days. Just anything that can go wrong is going as wrong as it possibly can.
Right.
And so I'm coming out of Tim Hortons. Ended up spilling my coffee on me, and the window wasn't going up. And finally it went up, but then my seatbelt wasn't coming on. And so I'm trying to drive. I'm going out of the drive-thru, right?
Yeah.
And I'm fighting with this thing to come back on. It just won't come. And I'm like, okay, just calm down. Just take it slow. Just nice and slow. It'll be fine.
I am
just
zen.
slow.
I am zen.
It locks. Fuck! And I'm just like, I just had this urge to just punch something.
Yeah.
And I went to go, and I don't know where I was going. I just started to do a cross, and I realized I'm going into the window, and I hit it. And I mean, I was giving it a light punch, right? But it was that I went in for a second one because I don't know, just really.
Yeah, one's not enough.
Yeah, one's not enough. Followed up with a second one. Realized that I'm actually putting heat and strength behind this one, and I'm like, you're gonna break that fucking window. You need to stop. Well, I gave it the fucking perfect punch. It was a snap at just the right time, and I shit you not, a fucking perfect circle popped out that fucking window. Right?
Jesus.
I'm looking through to a girl who's looking back at me with utter shock on her face as this hole pops out of my fucking car window while I'm driving down the fucking road.
You are the Canadian equivalent of Iron Fist.
Right? And I'm fucking, okay. Someone has to see this. Someone who I can contact and have verifiable proof. So I'm driving home, right? I'm very careful, driving slow, going avoiding every bump.
Yep.
I get all the way home. It's like a 15-minute drive through some of the shittiest roads you've ever been on. And I get home. I carefully open the door. I get out, carefully go to close the door, and I go to give it that last little push to latch it.
Yeah.
And the window fucking shatters.
Oh, for crying out loud!
I was like, are you kidding me? I was right here.
Evidence was right there, and it shattered
Right
in front of
there.
me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Thanos.
Yeah, because I mean that. Honestly, just the fact that it was a perfect circle that got blown out of the window is just. I wish that I could prove that because, I mean, that's kind of one hell of a story to just say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. My brother was foolish enough to put a brand new subwoofer in the back of his Grand Am, and it blew a circle, almost the direct diameter of the subwoofer out the back window.
Damn.
Menard says the worst thing about this situation is telling the story to the ER, and I went in there like honestly it hurt, but I wasn't disgruntled, I wasn't anything like that, and I knew going to the ER that the better my temperament was, the easier and faster things were going to go. And actually, quite frankly, I was in and out of ER within an hour and a half. But
nice.
It was good. But doctor comes up and goes, "What happened?" I said, "Got into a fight with a coffee table." He goes, "What the coffee table look like?" I said, "Just as embarrassed as me." So yeah, 4 weeks. I gotta wear this. Like I have movement in 3 fingers, and these 2 are put together because that's what's got the heel. This is a fiberglass splint, and it doesn't cover my entire arm, but it does cover, like, this is solid here, and it goes all the way up, and then it cones up to here. So
really, so like the 2 fingers, everything, it's all the way up is solid.
Yeah, well, yeah, except for this side. Like that's all me. But it goes solid right here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I passed on the opportunity to get T3s because with my metabolism and whatnot, anything higher than Advil, I'm freaking loopy. So the doctor was like, "Okay, so do you need any painkillers?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." And like I had an extra strength Advil before I came here, so I should be fine. He goes, "Well, I could subscribe you some T3s." And I look at him and go like, "No, I'll be fine." He goes, "Okay,
over the counter works.
If the pain's too much, just come back." I went, "If the pain's too much, then I might have to, because if I can't muscle my way through this, then I'm going to be loopy regardless." So, is what it is. Anyway, lesson learned. I'm a jackass, and don't get into a fight with a coffee table.
Mistakes are the best teachers.
You want to talk about mistakes? Do you know who Little Tay is?
I've made a few.
Yes, I know you have. His name is Chad. Do you know who Little Tay is?
It rings a bell.
Do you know the Cash Me Outside girl?
Oh, fuck yes.
Okay, so we're in this world, okay? There's the... What's that?
That was my phone going, "Fuck you too." It's gained sentience.
Okay, so the Cash Me Outside girl is kind of the monarch. We'll get back into the royalty thing. Kind of the monarch of the useless celebrityism that is these days. And you can go any which way with this, but you have the Cash Me Outside girl, and then you have someone who is just little lollipop bobblehead woman who claims that she's black when she's clearly Caucasian, maybe a little bit Hispanic, but it goes on these nonsensical tirades and thinks herself a recording artist on Twitter. Through that, there's this 9-year-old girl by the name of Little Tay, who goes on Instagram and has a couple of YouTube videos, music videos. What this 9-year-old girl is doing with music videos is beyond me. This girl makes Rebecca Black look like she's fucking talented. Anyway, she's going in these rants on Instagram, flashing money and saying like, I'm so rich, I have this, and this is my view, and this is my car, and I have your mom's rent money in my wallet at all times, and this bathroom is worth more than your mom's rent money. Her fucking catchphrase is your mom's rent money. Anyway,
yeah, really.
So going on with all this noise and saying that she's from Hollywood, LA.
I'd be like, my mom's homeless, bitch, so I guess you got nothing in your pocket.
So there, touche. So anyway, going off saying that she's from Hollywood, right? And granted, like the things that are in these videos that she puts out there is like impressive, like a beautiful view from a studio apartment of mountains, and a beautiful view from whatever bathroom of this backdrop scenery, and blah 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 blah. What? You looking her up?
No, did you say this bathroom or back room? I'm sorry, my mind went versus the bathroom and
Pick one.
Copious amounts of cocaine.
Pick one, because like she's showing off all this random shit in random places, right? But no one was really able to nail down anything at all as to where specifically she was, because she kept saying that she was in Hollywood. She was in Hollywood. She was in Hollywood. Pop quiz. What city in this world, what city in North America most resembles Hollywood?
In North America?
Yeah.
Fucked if I know.
Vancouver.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Canadian Hollywood.
Exactly. So
yeah, you got the Rockies there and everything. Okay,
exactly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right? Vancouver is known as the city of glass. There's plenty of skyscrapers. There are like very, very high-end, high rent, and high real estate properties in Vancouver. Okay? So, Little Tay, in this video fucking useless rant on Instagram, said, this is my mama's car. This is my car. It's going to be my car when I grow up. Blah, 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 blah. Her car, her car, her car, her car. Mistake number one. There's BC plates on it.
She didn't blur the fucking plates out.
Mistake number two. That's not her car. It's not her mother's car. It was her fucking mother's boss's car. When he found out, she suddenly didn't have a job anymore. So Little Tay's mother was legitimately a high-end real estate agent, which is why she had all these views. That's why she had all these properties, all this incredible furniture and views and scenic areas. She didn't own shit. She was there with her mom, visiting during working hours.
Snake oil.
Exactly. So now, like, I don't know, her mother no longer has a job, but now they've literally signed. Well, yeah, real unfortunate. But here's the unfortunate part: is Little Tay is currently going on tour in North America promoting whatever the fuck this is.
Why? Who would pay to go see that?
Who would watch a Kardashian show?
Idiocracy,
exactly.
The fact that there is a scene in Idiocracy called Ow My Balls. Sorry, they're watching a TV show called Ow My Balls. Her buddy gets paid to get hit in the nuts by stupid random shit. Okay. That was a YouTube channel a couple of years ago. But he was getting paid to get kicked in the nuts. Idiocracy is a goddamn democracy, and Mike Judge needs to be making Idiocracy 2 so that we have an idea of what's coming next. He's our own Nostradamus. Anyways, train.
No, it's fine. Here's the thing: is that people will always be attracted to freaks. People will always be attracted to the circus because they look at something absolutely, utterly ridiculous and go, "That is amazing. Give me more of that." Which is why we have like the Freak Show, a three-ray circus. Why we had Jersey Shore. Why the Kardashians are so fucking popular, and why we have Cash Me Outside Girl and the other twit and Little Tay, and why we have Logan Paul and his dipshit Jake Paul brother and Rice Gum and other jackasses like this, which just make a shit ton of noise for shock value. And you're the one who bought the ticket to the three-ring circus going, this is entertainment. And
yeah,
you can't help it. Like, quite frankly, like the fact that we are talking, like I brought it up and I did some research and I'm talking about it means that she caught my attention. And whether it was deliberate or indeliberate, it's still the fact that she brought up, she made it topical, which is how this whole thing works, right? So yeah, now her mother, who is without a job at this point in time, is now going on tour with her 9-year-old daughter, and I don't know what it's for. I wouldn't walk across the street to piss on her if she was on fire. Like, the fact that people would go to a convention or anything like that just to hear this little twit sing or rap or whatever it is.
We're gonna do a featuring Honey Boo Boo episode. You guys are gonna love it. Don't you worry. Just come on out, give us your money.
There's another
check
prime
it out.
example. Tiaras and toddlers and tiaras or something like that. Like, that was a fucking
that
show.
is just that is just creepy ass shit, man.
It was bad. Anyway,
I don't want my fucking daughter anywhere near any of that shit.
Your daughter's too good for that.
She is.
She is.
She's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Also, if anyone tried anything, she would fucking knock him out. She's only 3 years old, but damn, she can punch.
She'd probably throw a punch better than me.
She's got a good jab. I gotta say, she's got a, like, we're still working on giving it the little twist, but
yeah.
She's got a good jab.
Oh, good. I'm glad. She's got to protect her daddy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything that I know, and also, I mean, my brother, when he was in prison, he was getting when he was first in prison, he was taken under the wing of an Olympic boxer. The only reason the Olympic boxer was in prison was because someone raped his sister, so he beat the guy to death. So, yeah. I mean, personally, I feel like justice was served when the Olympic boxer beat him to death. Like, that just, okay, yep. All right, you're good.
Yeah, but
you'll have a nice day, sir.
Yeah. if it was an eye for an eye thing, then yeah, but we don't live in that society, right?
Yeah.
Menard says
an eye for an eye doesn't make the whole world blind. It leaves one person with one eye left, and that man is king.
Exactly. Menard says then we wonder why some of these kids these days are screwed up. Well, you know what? It's a cyclical thing. I mean, that's how we get Maury Povich, and when Oprah was starting to get onto the scene, and now we have what's the fuck is his name? You Are the Father. Is that Maury Povich? Anyway, so it's all those things like, my child's out of control. It's like, that's because you didn't beat the tar out of them when they were mouthing off. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that works to put a little fear in you and give you something that you have to respect. You learn respect.
Yes.
That's what's lacking.
Yes.
No one has fucking respect.
Exactly. Speaking of, Hulk Hogan's going to make a return to the WWE.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like I did a Macho Man Randy Savage for that one.
He's dead.
He is dead, but I just feel like the voice I was using was ooh, yeah. Break into some Slim Jim.
Why Hulk Hogan is returning to the WWE is beyond me.
He's broke.
No, he shouldn't be. Actually, no, he's the one who put that one tabloid news source under. He's not broke. What was it? What am I? I'm trying to think of the name of the tabloid news source, but I'm coming up with Brazzers, and that ain't it. What
National
was it?
Enquirer?
Gawker.
Gawker. Okay.
That's it. I'm pretty sure that was it. Because, okay, so rewind just a little bit. Hulk Hogan gets into a court case because Bubba the Love Sponge had a recording of Hulk Hogan having sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. And who knew about it, who didn't know about it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It was detrimental to Hulk Hogan's name. And then out comes the argument of why were you bragging about the size of your penis, sir? And Terry Bollea, or Terry, I'm butchering his name. Hulk Hogan's real name is Terry. Terry said, like, I don't have a large penis. Hulk Hogan does. So, so that was a part of an argument in an actual court case. Anyway, move forward from that, and okay, yeah. So the sex tape was put out by that tabloid media source, and that's where that quote came from. And subsequently, they shut down the tabloid media source, and like they bankrupted them, and they're gone forever. Now move forward to a leaked footage or found footage or whatever like that of Hulk Hogan being pissed off years ago, like well over 8-9 years ago. Hulk Hogan being pissed off at his daughter for bringing a black man home. Yeah.
The fuck? Okay.
Can't make this up. So that was devastating to Hulk Hogan. WWE cut all ties, did not want to touch him. Impact Wrestling also removed any and all evidence that Hulk Hogan was ever a part of their organization. That was like, what, a year and a half ago? And now all of a sudden it's confirmed that Hulk Hogan is making yet another return to the WWE. And quite frankly, like, it's like, I appreciate what the man did for the industry. That is great. But for fuck's sakes, go away.
Well, I mean, you could have like an old wrestlers SmackDown. You got Undertaker, Mick Foley, and
Ric Flair.
Shit. Ric Flair, yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
I bet you could even get Bam Bam out there.
Who?
Bam Bam Bigelow, man.
Is he not dead? I know Hillbilly Jim is still alive.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake is very much still alive. Hold on, let me look
He
up
is
Bam
indeed. Bam Bam Bigelow. The only reason I know him is because he was the only character that I could play back on WrestleMania on the original Nintendo.
Oh my, I have that.
Oh yeah,
I do have that. I'm looking at it right there.
That's awesome.
Hold on, let me look up Bam.
The fucking cartwheel of doom.
Bigelow. Yeah, no shit. Bam Bam Bigelow. He did die. He died about 10 years ago.
Well, shit.
Yeah, you're a little behind the times on that one. Yeah, thank you so much. Deminar just confirmed it. Bam Bam died in 2007.
Damn.
But like, I don't want to see, like, okay, I'm unplugged. I don't have cable, right? I don't even have the WWE network. I'm very much like living on a limited budget because I'm paying off old debt, right? But still, like, I watch YouTube and I go through sources and I watch videos on Twitter and whatever. I don't want to see Hulk Hogan anymore. I appreciate what he's done and the fact that the WWE has forgiven him for his stupid misdeeds in the past. Fine. But I don't want to see the asshole anymore. I'd rather see The Rock or Steve Austin or freaking D'Lo Brown than I would Hulk Hogan.
You know who I'd like to see again?
Yo.
Warwick Davis.
Who the fuck is that?
Willow.
Oh.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Greatest name ever, right? That guy has fucking such a badass name. Warwick Davis. Which is funny because he's so tiny.
Yeah. Tell me about this.
So they've kind of put forth the idea that they're going to do Willow 2 and get Val Kilmer back for it as well, which will be interesting. As I understand it, he's supposed to be king and so on and so forth. And Bavmorda's supposed to be coming back or something to that effect, and going after what the hell is her name? Alora, the baby.
Yeah, you're testing my knowledge here.
Okay, so the baby was the whole reason that Willow going from his village to like the humans and all that.
Yeah.
We wanted to dump the kid off and be like, here you go, here's a human baby. Humans, fucking see you later.
I love the premise of like some of the old shows. It just like doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Fucking okay, digression.
Yes.
Summertime. I think it is Mungo and Jerry.
Yes.
The first fucking few lyrics to that are such terrible ideas. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. No. If her daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If her daddy's poor, just do what you feel. No!
Yeah, I know.
What?
Again, it's just one of those things. Like, it's just like, what do you? It's old lyric writing. I just did a search on Val Kilmer. Did you know that he was fighting with throat cancer for 2 years?
He had what now?
Throat cancer.
Throat cancer.
Val Kilmer turned on the charm and put on a smile on his face over the weekend while greeting fans in Detroit at Motor City Comic Con. This rare public appearance from the actor, who last year revealed after much speculation that he had been battling throat cancer for 2 years and undergone a tracheotomy.
Seriously, so he was like, my name is Val Kilmer.
I'm looking at a video right now.
I'm Batman.
You know what? That would probably be the most realistic Batman voice ever. He's looking okay. He's definitely not like the same Val Kilmer we all know and love, but he's definitely,
no.
He's definitely like looking pretty darn healthy. There is no clear hole in his throat, that's for sure. That procedure that has since made it difficult for Kilmer to speak at times and often short of breath, which explains why he was so worn out after spending a day with fans on Saturday. The actor, 58, posed for photos on Facebook midday that showed him with his eyes nearly closed, so he was exhausted. Understandably so. But there is no hole in his throat. Well, technology is.
What I'm wondering is if these celebrities have all this money, why don't they invest in a rife machine? I'm pretty good at these segues tonight, right?
You're on fire today, my friend. What is a rife machine?
All right, okay, so essentially, in a nutshell, a rife machine is a machine that uses your own frequency as well as knowledge of the frequency of certain DNA, bacteria, viruses, so on and so forth, to either enhance your own body, its own wellness, immunity, so on and so forth. And then one can also eradicate cancerous cells, bacteria, viruses, things that you don't want. I'm going to bring up the actual article here because it kind of goes a little bit into the back history. Okay, so the Rife machine was developed by Royal Raymond Rife in the 20s. His machine's also called the Rife frequency generator. So now it's kind of conspiracy theory is it's been quashed by the pharmaceutical industry, but the Cancer Research Society says that there's any lack of evidence, or there is a lack of evidence for Rife machines. They don't believe that. The Rife machine hasn't been through the usual process of scientific testing. Therefore, there's no evidence to show that it does what its supporters say it does. So essentially, just because they've never done any study on it, they don't believe that it works, which is kind of ridiculous. How can you say it doesn't work if you don't at least run a study on it, because the machine was actually made, and you know, a physical one was created, so it's testable. Anyways, so it did spur some research into electromagnetic fields and their play with cancer. Researchers have been interested in how electromagnetic energy can be used to diagnose and treat diseases for a while. There have been some developments such as X-rays, radiotherapy, MRIs, and but those all use high energy waves and are specialist machines which are proven to work. Some researchers have been looking into the effects of low-level electromagnetic energy on cancer cells, and they found that these low frequencies do seem to affect cancer cells, but not normal cells. However, this research is still at an experimental stage, and it's not clear exactly how it could work. The electromagnetic frequencies used in this research are different from those produced by Rife machines.
The Rife machine is not approved by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA in America, and the American Cancer Society says that the FDA has warned companies who sell these machines not to make claims that it has not been proven. Possible side effects include electrical shocks and rashes. Well, I mean, if this is something that exists, I mean, the only thing that's preventing people from trying it is, I guess, clinical trials and volunteers.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if someone would actually just run through the gamut of tests. Now, the reason that I find this so interesting is that I only just recently found out about these Rife machines, but about 15 years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine was contracted to fabricate this machine that this doctor wanted to make. And what it was there was 3 rolls, small, medium, and large. Each roll would roll independently, and then all 3 would roll around each other.
Okay, right? So they're orbiting each other.
Yeah, they're all orbiting around, and they're all spinning. Not unlike planets, right?
Right.
Going around the sun. Okay, so on each roll is 6 blocks. In each block is, I think it was 6, but it might have been more. Magnets that are put in at, I think it was 60 degrees, 30 degrees, and I can't remember what the third one was, but on a particular angle. And so what ended up happening is that when these rolls were spun, they would create a magnetic frequency. I got a chance to see the test results and a picture of a horse that they had put in the field. The pre-field photo shot, the horse had like just this massive cancerous fucking blob on its face, right? Okay. Just there's this hideous purplish mass. I feel bad for anyone who has that like face cancer thing. Wow, that is just wild.
Yeah.
Anyways, 14 hours inside the field, and it was shrunk down to the size of a friggin' mole. Oh. A horse's mole, but still a mole. So, yeah. I mean, like the size of like, I don't know. I don't even know what you use to compare that.
Toonie.
Inch and a half hole.
A toonie.
Yeah, toonie.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind though that like I'm not kiboshing anything, but a horse's physiology and health system is much different from a human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
They also found that HIV could not survive inside the field.
No, that's
HIV was completely eradicated. All culture samples that they just little petri dishes they just placed there, all of them died. Anyone that was outside of the field, just fine.
Well, I mean, here's hoping that more trials happen, and then
I would like to.
We just need more answers and proof.
I'm curious to see why nothing came of it. I mean, at the time, I was like, okay, this definitely seems interesting. I don't really see that like this would ever hit the market because the doctor wanted to sell it for like $60,000, right? And you could just sit in the field, and all your diseases go away. You don't have to go see the doctor. You don't have to go anywhere. You just get basically cured. Like, I mean, you got to go to the doctor to get a broken arm, get it reset,
Yeah,
and other things.
really?
But, but I mean, like for the most part, like diseases and whatnot, all you have to do is just be in this field, and it just more or less corrects everything to your way of being.
Yeah. Well, I'd be
and it can all be tuned.
I'd definitely be interested to see if and when more studies are carried out with this.
Considering that these machines get the flack that they do, I imagine that much like any study that was used or that was done to prove that marijuana was safe, getting funding for that was damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Before it was made legal, it'll be the same thing with this. Right? The only way that you could probably get funding for it would be to prove that they don't work.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And then in the process, end up proving that they do work,
Yeah.
which is what happened with marijuana. Unfortunately, we had the Schaefer report, and that got quashed.
Yes.
Because of Reagan.
Yes.
Reagan? Nixon.
No, it was Reagan.
Nixon. Was it Reagan?
It was Ronald Reagan. Reagan was very much on the
Yes.
front end of the whole war against cannabis. And you know, years before that, they changed the name from cannabis to marijuana to make it sound more Mexican. That's not a conspiracy.
Damn marijuana.
So,
Mexico.
well, cool. Here's hoping that more things come of that.
Mm.
I got 2 things left.
Oh, sorry. One last other thing. And this is what really kind of made me like, I don't know if this machine actually fucking does what you guys are saying it does. They said that when they turned it on, they could unplug it from the wall and it would still run. It would produce its own power and actually produced 5 times more power than it used.
You're talking about perpetual motion machine.
No, because perpetual motion, the components would never die out. They never profess perpetual motion. They accept that parts will wear out and you will have to replace them. It is a over unity machine.
Okay.
It produces more energy than it uses.
Yeah, that does kind of raise some eyebrows.
Right? Yeah, it's just like you're kind of breaking some of Newton's laws on this one. So
stop trying to peek behind the curtain. Fuck off.
Right? I mean, you had my interest peaked at the getting rid of the cancer and whatnot, seeing the reports, but reports can be faked.
Yes.
Yeah. So snake oil salesmen will do fucking amazing things. Anyways.
I agree. And on the topic of snake oil, what is the genuine origin story of 50 Shades of Grey?
Me.
Not you. The genuine origin story of 50 Shades of Grey is it is based
Norman Bates.
It's based on fan fiction from the Twilight series. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Red Shoe Diaries I would have fucking gone with, but
no. 50 Shades of Grey is based on a Twilight series of 50 Shades of Grey is based on the Twilight series. It was initially started as a fan fiction of the Twilight series. Now we have 3 movies out there based on 3 shitty books. Not saying the movies are any better. Of the 50 Shades of Grey series. Okay? We're getting into Inception type world here now because a new movie just came out called Book Club. In Book Club, the premise of this story, the premise of the story in this movie is these women are in a book club and then decide to try to spice up their sex life because they read 50 Shades of Grey. So now we have a movie that is based around a story of a movie that was based around a fan fiction of another movie.
There is no wall solid enough for me to beat my head against sufficiently.
There is a coffee table, but that's about it.
So, I don't know. That coffee table fights back.
Yeah. So so they had this big showing and VIP party for the opening of the movie Book Club, right? And at this big VIP showing, which some stars were actually there, for this movie book club, they had legitimate copies of 50 Shades of Grey for people to thumb through to see what the whole hype was about. By the time the party was over, majority of the books that were available for people to peruse through had disappeared. They stole books, the 50 Shades of Grey books, from the viewing party of book club. Yeah, Menard agrees with us, bangs her head on table. Why? Just why?
Oh God, my head fucking hurts. I've got an actual headache.
So,
even little Tay didn't fucking do that to me.
So this is the type of bullshit that is going on. Like, you think to yourself, gee, how do they keep coming up with these stories in Hollywood? They don't. They just keep spinning off of each other. But I will lighten the mood, because I did promise a story from one of my many careers, and one of them being the manager of an adult store in Prince George, British Columbia. And so, which one do I tell?
Oh shit.
You know what? The very first story the very first time that I figured out that we were in for something weird while working at the adult store was the young couple that came in. You can get 50 Shades for like 25 cents in used bookstores. Why steal it? Good point. Okay. So before I was a manager of an adult store, I was just a humble employee, and I had the night shift because they wanted to have a male presence closing the store, because you do get a little unsavories and whatever showing up in the middle of the night thinking that they could either get a deal or do something stupid or try to steal something. Anyway, so I'm working behind a counter at this adult store, and when I say adult store, let your imaginations go wild, because it was in this store. And this young couple comes in, and along the far wall of this adult store, it is a massive wall. I think it was like 60, maybe 80 feet. And it's just end-to-end sex toys, right? Not randomly sporadic, but just end-to-end sex toys. And it was all in their own little categories, and it just progressed from there. So this young couple comes in, and they go, well, where's all the sex toys? And I go, well, there's some here, but the big wall is over there, right? Okay, fine. So they go over there. Now, there's security cameras set up everywhere in this store. And so I'm not really paying any attention. I got a little bit of light music going. I'm getting ready to close up the night because I'm like an hour away from ending my shift. And I hear them talking, and no big deal. But then I hear this very audible sigh. And I look over, and they're standing side by side. Okay, fine. But then he sighs again, and then his head goes back. Like this. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look in security cameras, and I see that they're standing there looking at the wall, but she has her hand firmly down the middle of his pants. So... Okay. Yeah. All right. Like, yo! And they stop, and suddenly she pulls away, and he... Go, what? I say, yeah, you guys can get out now. Well, we weren't doing... It's like, there's a security camera right there. And they look up and went, okay, yeah, we'll leave. So
busted before you busted.
Exactly. Busted before you nutted. So, yeah, that was like, okay, this story is going to be a little bit interesting.
Oh, my God.
What?
That's the episode name. Busted before you nutted.
Yes, exactly. Busted before you nutted. There you go. I have plenty of stories, so if you want to hear more stories, I'll be more than happy to share them with you. And not all of them are from me working at an adult store either. I mean, some of them were just...
but some of the funniest are.
Yeah, some of the funniest are. Menard says, what? He needed motivation. I don't think he needed motivation at all. She needed to control herself, and he needed to have a little bit of control, I guess. Anyway.
You should suggest 50 Shades of Grey so we can learn how to tie that shit up.
50 Shades of Grey wasn't out then.
It really wasn't.
No. Anyway. So, let's wrap this up.
All right, you've been listening to another exciting episode of the WTF podcast. You can find more episodes, information on the crew cast. Son of a bitch. Wow. WTFATTA.blogspot.com. You got any comments, questions, concerns, you can email us, WTFATTApodcast@gmail.com. You can find us all over the interwebs, YouTube, Twitch, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. Blueberry, Stitcher, WTFATTA.
SoundCloud?
No.
No? Okay. I'm JD.
I don't think.
What?
I don't think.
You don't think? Check your shit. JD the Media Jack, and there's another edition of the Flipside Radio Show with my co-host Eli, brother from another mother on the other side of the continent, as he's in Ontario, I'm in British Columbia. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, you can follow me all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and on Mixer, and be a part of the conversation. If you like the story, or any of the stories in here, feel free to leave a comment behind, as we do read them as well. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to any and all of our channels and social media, either the Media Jack or WTFATTA. And game on, speak from the skull, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.